Hello everybody, I am the Legendary Metroid, and today is a terrible and an exciting day. So, recently they discontinued the NES Classic Edition, which is very unfortunate. It was nearly impossible to get one throughout the entire duration of its existence anyway, let alone not at scalper price. But they had one final shipment, and I managed to track down a store that had them. I was in line from 3:30 a.m. to when they opened at 10. Only 2 people actually were in line ahead of me. They got there at 8 p.m. But managed to get one of these. And it was brutal. There was 7, they had 7 of them total. And there was probably 80-90 people overall that ended up joining the line at some point or the other. I'm really lucky to have gotten it, and I figured I'd unbox it, as well as I got one of these, which typically I'm not a big fan of buying cables from Best Buy, but they actually had better prices than Amazon this time around. Let's get into it. So, oh, that's a cool top. It's just classics. Kind of like the NES Nintendo logo on the Switch. That's the front of the box. Everyone's probably seen it a dozen times, probably more. No one cares about that. Ooh. It's kind of like a history of the NES, but in several languages. And this is the history of the controller. So let's get into it. I like the little sprites of like Mario and Bowser. Oh, Link and Bowser. Okay. Oh yeah, the back, duh. So here we've just got kind of a cool little thing. It's kind of displaying the directional pad, but it's used to represent a lot of the games that are on it. I haven't even memorized the whole list. Specifically, I'm excited about Mega Man 2, Metroid, and Mario Bros. 2. Those are all games that I have never actually owned to this point, although I have borrowed Fusion, if you want to count that as owning Metroid. Oh man, this is tight fit. Oh cool, it's still got like the spacey theme there. I've never actually seen one of these, so I don't know how big it is. That's it for the box. It's just a little cardboard containment now. Oh, that's right, it comes with a poster. It's awesome. Of course they'd advertise Gyromite. No one wants Gyromite. What's this? My Nintendo. Maybe I'll figure that out. Future me, edit in something to keep that code a secret. Secret guide or something. What is this poster? Oh, this won't fit in for where my camera is. I'll throw in something later, but... Is it double-sided? Oh no, the other side is like instructions. But on the back side we have kind of something with Rob and the that's what the control games are. But yeah, we got Rob, some of the controllers. And that actually is an NES. What's wrong with the reset button in the picture though? It's like indented, crooked. Of course they advertise Duck Hunt and Rob on here. The 2 things I really wanted out of this game, but I can't use. Or, not game, system. Oh my goodness. Like I knew it was like fit in your hand and stuff, but... Whoa! This thing's tiny! This is so tiny! Reset button's very tactile, the power button's kind of mushy. Yeah, it figures that doesn't go up at all. Just the ports there. Very lightweight. This is just a plug and play through and through, except it's got quality. Okay, power it with micro USB and the HDMI out. I don't actually have a regular version of the NES, I just have a Retron series, so I can't compare it to that, but it looks very authentic. No, don't break it. Wow. This looks just like the original. It feels like the original. I mean, obviously Nintendo, but there's the wire everyone's short about, that's why this thing. but let's compare that. So this is the original one, NES edition. And, well, aside from one being far shinier, literally everything's like the same. The back is a bit different. They even have like the same screws. But they even have like the same matte finish. This is a very authentic controller. I feel like the start and select buttons are slightly more textured on the original. And the A and B button have a bit more press to them. The D-pad has a little less press to it than the original. This could all be because my original is like one of a kind, who knows. But look at that thing. That's the NES controller. It is as wide as the NES controller. It is shorter than the NES controller. It is just a little bit deeper than the NES controller. Like if you, it's just a bit longer than where the wire mark cuts off. What else is in here? Power brick. If only I had an open outlet around here. And we have the micro USB cable with another twist tie. That's off camera. What am I doing? And this is actually a pretty solid one. I have so many micro USB cables. This is actually an incredibly solid one. I hate these little tags that they put on them. I love having a desk that's just a cutting mat, though. There. Basically gone. Does that come right off? There. I don't know why I hate those so much, they bother me. HDMI. I need an open HDMI port now. Thank goodness. I'll probably just swap back and forth with the Wii U. Oh, this is a very short HDMI. This isn't 6 feet. This is, right off the bat, I'd guess 4 feet. It's about 4.5 feet. So, not a full-length HDMI cable, or at least compared with what I'm familiar with. But let's get a bit more size comparisons on this console. It's ridiculous. So, here's a Nintendo Switch. It is, let's see, just as tall as a Joy-Con. Oh, that'd make a great screensaver. That almost looks like it could, it's just a screensaver on the Switch. The NES screensaver? I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid. Oh hey, you can see my face. Isn't that great? I know you all love it. Okay, whatever. But depth, let's see. Goes up to, on the left Joy-Con, it goes up a little bit less than the the right on what should be a D-pad, thanks to Nintendo. No, really, you're my favorite. It's all good. I measured that already. It's a bit longer than the Joy-Cons, though. As far as the tablet, it is just as tall as the tablet. Oop, still got my grip on it. New 3DS XL. But yeah, a little bit taller than that. Not quite as wide. About as wide as like the mid-range on the cartridge slot from the right side. I don't know, these are... This thing is small, like, it's palm of my hand. It's just... The thing's tiny. Ooh, wait. Might not be Nintendo, but there's a controller I need to compare this thing to. Dwarfs it. You can't even see it past it, hardly. Yeah. You thought the Duke controller was bigger than the PS2 Slim? Check this thing out. It's so tiny. It's even thicker than it. Wow. This is a tiny piece of hardware. It feels like there's nothing in it. It just feels like hollow plastic, but... Okay. One more box. This is a cable extension, which don't buy them off Amazon unless you know what you're doing, because there are so many Chinese brands or whatever that are going to sell you crappy products, and these ones actually happen to be cheaper than most of those. They're normally like 12 bucks there, and they had them on sale for $5 for the last day. The best reliable brand I could find on Amazon was roughly, what was it? I think it was like $8.50. But these this is something I'm going to be happy about. The length doesn't concern me that much, but it's still something I'd like to be aware of. But this should put the cable from just under 3 feet. Yeah, that's a nice solid fit. And it even locks in, so it's not like loose like all the other cable extensions I have. But this is really going to add to the length of the controller. I'm really happy about that. Oh wow, what's the difference in the wires, actually? The wires are almost the same too. This one's just glossy, probably because of age. But that'll really add a lot to it. And another thing that this thing should be compatible with, I don't have the original version, and frankly I don't really have an interest in getting it, but I have the Wii Classic Pro controller, one of my favorite controllers from Nintendo. No one knows about it though. You can actually use this with the NES Classic Edition, which, although it might seem like, hey, you can do this if you want to, there's not much reason to, but the plus and minus button, or the home button, or some combination of those three, I've been led to believe, can actually be used to change the game, where if you're using this one, I believe you can only do it by hitting the reset button. But this one would let you do it just with the controller, so that's a really nice thing that they have as an added feature. There's also Bluetooth controllers and stuff, but I've never been bothered by wire controllers, so I doubt I'm going to go out and spend $40, $50 or whatever to get the controller and the adapter and whatever else, but I mean, that is it today. That is NES Classic Edition. That is... I never thought I'd get this. I tried so hard for so long and finally picked it up. That's... I can't wait to try it out in a future video or something, but I've got a lot going on right now. I'm not gonna throw something like this at you guys quite yet. Until the next one, see ya! I just need to figure out where to put it, and then I'm set. No. 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 Come on! I guess.